This is lesson 25 from Robert Henle's first year Latin book. The first section of this lesson deals with direct questions. So Mr. Henle defines a direct question as a question that is addressed directly to a person. It is generally in the indicative mood, and a direct question will be introduced in one of four ways. So the first way that it would be introduced is with a interrogative adverb, such as cur. An interrogative particle, so that's this ne on the end of the verb. You see, vides is a verb that means you see, and they have stuck ne on the end, so now this means do you see. The third way you might have a direct question introduced is with an interrogative pronoun. So this quid is a interrogative pronoun that can mean who or what, and it is declined. We'll talk about it in a minute, but it is declined for you in the grammar book so that you can figure out how to use it properly. And then the fourth way is for a direct question to be introduced with an interrogative adjective such as quo. You'll notice up here with the pronoun you have a verb, and quid is definitely a pronoun. But down here in this example of the interrogative adjective, you have quos viros vidisti. So this is you saw, y'all saw men, and quos is actually an adjective that's telling you something about men. So it can be which, what, that sort of thing. So that's the difference between the pronoun and the adjective. We'll talk more about both of those later. The first thing in this lesson that you get after that information is 4 new words. So ubi means where. Where is the city? Cur means why. Like, why did he do that? Undi means whence, and whence is a word we don't use very often in English anymore, but really it's talking about from what place. Where did whatever's happening in this sentence come from? So this sentence in English will definitely have the word from in it, and then you'll translate that into Latin using undi. And the last new word for this section is quo, which means whither. So this is another word we don't use very often in English, but we do ask quite often, where are you going to? Or to what place? So anytime Mr. Henle uses a phrase like this in his sentence, he wants you to start your sentence with the word quo. He wants that to be your, he wants that word to be in your sentence. Now, the interrogative adverb. Both ubi and cur are interrogative adverbs. They are not declined. Isn't that a blessing? We don't have to change them. And they never change their spelling, which is nice because we only have to learn them one way. So here we have ubi fuisti, so where. You noticed we have a perfect second person singular endings. So where were you? And Kur Wainit is our other example. Here we have a third person singular, and this is in the present tense. So we have why does he come? So then Mr. Henle does give us some verbiage in this lesson about the difference between ubi and quo and undi. Basically, quo and undi. Uh-oh, my green ink went away. Let's fix that. Ubi, quo, and undi. So again, ubi is referring to a place in which something is located, and it implies that that object is at rest or not moving. So ubs means where are you? They want to know where are you right now. And we have quo, which refers to the place to which and implies motion or direction. So quo and to will go together. And then we have like quo contend. Uh-oh, it looks like spell check changed my Latin to English. That happens sometimes, and it's quite annoying. I thought maybe I could quickly figure out what word I intended that to be. Quo. Well, this should be contendis. So, or where are you hastening? Undi, so quo is going to go with to which, and undi goes with from which. So this is going to tell the place from which the action is occurring. So undi venus, where do you come from? Okay, now we have 3 example sentences. Where were the guards? You notice that these guards just are. They are not moving in any way. So as we write this into Latin, we're going to think of it as a regular sentence. So the guard, instead of a question, the guards were where? This is what we're going to think about it as. So the guards, the word is custodes. So the guards were will be errant, because that's how we say were in Latin. And our where has no motion, so we can use ubi. So that's our final answer for that one. Whence have you led the new forces? Okay, so who's doing the leading is you. So that will be in the nominative case. You have led. So we know that we're going to use the perfect tense. Sorry, I wrote prefect instead of perfect. Who knew? We're going to use the perfect tense, and we have you. So let's decide that this you is singular since we don't have any specific clues. So this will be in the nominative singular. Our verb will be in the perfect, and it will also be singular. And you, so it'll be second person. You have led who or what? The new forces. So forces is going to go in the accusative case because it answers who or what. And forces is feminine. We'll use the word copia. And it is always plural. So new is going to need to match that because it's an adjective. So it also is going to be feminine, accusative, and plural because it has to match in gender, number, and case. And then that leaves us just with whence that we haven't figured out yet. But we know already that any time we see the word hence, whence, we're going to use the Latin word undi. So undi, in Latin, we usually want to put our accusative case in before the subject and verb. So forces is copias. New forces is copias novas. And then our perfect singular, present perfect, singular second person verb will be duxisti from the verb ducere. So we have our answer here is undi copias novas duxisti. Now, this third sentence, where have you hastened from? You notice we have where and from. So we know we're going to use undi again. Have you hastened? If we look up hastened, we're going to use the verb contendere. And we need this to be in the, maybe we can use the singular again. So singular, second person, and have you is going to put us back in the present perfect tense. So undi contendisti is our final answer question.